Hello, everybody, and welcome to race number 8 of Season 8 NNSCRA Walmart Cup Series here on the NNSCRA Sports and Gaming channel. I'm Levi McIntyre, aka Thrash Maniac 99, the voice of NNSCRA Walmart Cup Series, here to welcome you to the Aaron's 499 at Talladega Superspeedway. And we are racing at a different Talladega. We are going to be racing at the 2006 freshly repaved version with Safer Barrier Protect turned on. Well, not turned on, but it was just named in the track. And actually, for those who can't find this track, I will have a link in the description box for you guys to get this track who have NR 2003 and want to get this track if you can never find it. But with that said, let's go ahead and take a look and see who is in the point standings hunt right now as far as the top 10 and guys on the outside looking in. We have a tie for the points lead between rookie DJ Curtis and Danny Wells. Both have 221 points, so we shall see how that will get broken today. Third is Tanner Sullivan, fourth is Preston Plord, fifth is Jessica Shelton, sixth is Rue McIntyre, seventh Daniel Day, eighth Charles Jackson, ninth Kyle Matthews, 10th is Joshua Collard. And then the rest of the top 20 is Dylan Poteet, Dylan Young, Stephen Pollard III, Sean Galligan, Trent Dunham, Bob Jones, who is our pole sitter for this race. Excuse me. Cody Lamas, Johnny Gardner, Dougie Shears, and then Seth Cole. So that is how the top 20 in the standings look coming into this race. And there you have it. So yeah, and also a quick note, the reason why there's such fast lap times, I got the grip stuff turned up so that way these guys go even faster here at this racetrack. So we shall see what kind of speeds we're going to be getting here for this race. But let's take a look at the top 10 in the starting lineup. Bob Jones on the pole, and starting next to him is Daniel Day. And they had almost identical lap times, just 1/1000th of a second off was Daniel Day. Row 2 is Dylan Young and Dougie Shears. Row 3 is James Silverfox, Joshua Collard. Row 4 is Austin LaPlante and Michael Norman. And then row 5 is Charles Sanford and Dylan Poteet. Starting in the last row, because I guess certain cars crashed out in qualifying or just didn't want to put a lap down, is Peachy London and Matt McIntyre. So let's go ahead and get the command to fire engines here for the Aaron's 499 at Talladega.
Is this on?
Yes, it's on.
Drivers, start your engines.
Okay, that was probably the worst gentlemen start your engines I've ever heard. So yeah, Bob Jones got a good finish last week at Texas and moved him up into 16th in points. So that's definitely helpful for him. Daniel Day, on the other hand, who's starting next to him, had a rather mediocre race at Texas, and he ended up falling from 2nd to 7th in points. It goes to show you how close these points are when it comes down to crunch time. Dylan Young, who's starting 3rd, he comes into this race 12th in the standings. He got a good finish last week at Texas. So far, he hasn't been able to score a top 5 yet, but he's got 3 top 10s, which is a respectable amount so far. Maybe he could turn something around and get a victory here today at Talladega. And then starting next to him, Dougie Shears, who won back at Thornton. He ended up having a rather mediocre Talladega race. Ended up falling from 9th to 19th in points. Huge drop. And I think he is the one, or actually one of 2 guys who took the biggest drop in points. Both he and Tim Walsh fell 10 spots. The guy who picked up the biggest gain in the points was Kyle Matthews. He moved up from 22nd up to 9th after he got a 2nd place run at Texas last week. James Silverfox starting 5th, and he will be the last guy we're going to talk about before this race begins. Silverfox so far hasn't hit his stride yet. He comes in 39th in points. Maybe he can make something happen and get a good finish here. And look at this amazing camera shot right here of the tri-oval. As we are getting set for 29 laps of racing. And the thing they dread the most here at this track is the big one. We may have it happen, we may not have it happen, but here we go. Boogity, 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 let's go racing. So yeah, like I said, this is the 2006 freshly repaved version of Talladega, so it's going to be extra grippy, which is why they're able to go so fast here at this racetrack. Let's see the speeds they're going up to. Already up to nearly 230. So they're racing with restrictor plates not on the cars, and that is helping for Bob Jones to pull ahead of Daniel Day for that lead. Meanwhile, they're going 3 wide for the most part back here. I don't see any 4 wide. And Bob Jones leads lap number 1 with an average speed of 212. And it sounded like, oh yeah, Charles Sanford's up into the wall. Looked like he got forced up there, and that's ended up costing him to go up there. And whoa, Cody Lama's going below the yellow line. I don't know how smart of a move that is. And whoa, LaPlante gets the wall too. That's the second car that's gotten up there today already here on lap 2 along with Sanford. Well, at least with Sanford, now that LaPlante got the wall, he'll have somebody to work with to try to get back up to the front. Meanwhile, Bob Jones leads, but look at who's there in that bottom lane. It's a Roush-Katir pack. Dylan Thoreau and Austin Mongold, David Rivera's up there too. It's going to be 3 wide for the lead, and Mongold's getting a huge push from Angel Navarro. And now they are 4 wide, or at least they were for a split second. Man, we're seeing some fantastic racing going on here. Probably already this is turning out to be one of the best Talladega races we've had in quite a long time. Couple cars straggling in the back, Dorian Facepuncher and Joshua Collard. Wow, look at this. They're going over 250. Nearly 260 miles per hour as these guys are going. And now we got a new leader, and that's Tim Walsh in the 45. So yeah, already we're getting a lot of shuffling going on, and this is exactly what we like to see at this racetrack. Tim Walsh leads that lap, and now here comes another rookie to come up there, Zach Buchanan. And Zach Buchanan's definitely a guy with a little bit of momentum on his side, as he got a top 5 finish last week at Texas, led the most laps, nearly won. So we shall see if Zach Buchanan can make something else happen. I see Jessica Sheldon got the wall. She gets off of it and she's still running. Now we got another new leader, and that's Matt McIntyre. But now here comes P.J. Williams underneath for the spot. Who's going to lead this lap? McIntyre leads it by 0.02 of a second. Williams now underneath, but now here comes Carson Gum with a push from teammate Johnny Gardner. We're seeing some tandem drafting kind of working a little bit to their benefit a little bit here at this track. If all goes well, we may end up coming back to this version whenever we get into this race in the Chase, as well as the Chase LCQ race coming soon. Well, I saw Matt McIntyre kind of get the wall a little bit. It's like if they try to go 4 wide, they got to try to find some way to give each other room, but that ends up costing them a bunch of time. Charles Sanford looked like he's on pit road. Maybe he's went in to repair some of the damage he sustained from getting up into the wall for so long. But right now, Johnny Gardner has the top spot. And Plant right now running by himself, losing a lot of time. And then Collard and Face Puncher straggling. And then Sanford a lap down. Dougie Shears kind of slipping back a little bit, but he's still within striking distance of the main draft. Back up at the front, we got another new leader, and that's David Rivera in the 6. Excuse me. And David Rivera had a rather poor race at Texas, ended up falling out of the top 20. So far, not the start to the season he was hoping for the defending champion. But he might be able to turn that around and get a good run here today, as he's currently the leader. But remember, they've got to make, I would say, at least at least 2 pit stops. And I hear a car getting the wall, and that's Tim Walsh. And then Preston Plord gets the wall, too. We're going to be seeing quite a few of those cars get up in that wall whenever they're trying to give room for 4 wide. And now we got another new leader, P.J. Williams. Man, already a lot of lead changes, but now here comes Jesse Setti underneath. Excuse me. Jesse Setti led that lap, and I see Silver Fox up into the wall. But I think he got off of it. Meanwhile, Setti leading the way, but now here comes Dylan Thoreau underneath for the spot. And whoa, McLeod went up way up there. Trying to see who that is, and that was Poteet who got the wall that time. At least the good thing with some of these cars that are getting the walls, they'll be able to bunch up into a little pack and try to work together to get back up to the main pack. And whoa, that looked like Danny Wells got the wall a little bit. Dylan Thoreau led that lap, but now Zach Buchanan's back up to the front. But now he's going to have a challenge because here comes in the bottom lane Cody Lamas with help, now separated by Chris Washer. And Chris Washer is definitely a guy who needs a lot of momentum because he comes in dead last in the points. Excuse me. And he only has 47 points total to his credit, so he's definitely looking to get a good finish here. Got the wall a little bit, but he got off of it rather quickly. Buchanan led that lap, and now it's Trent Dunham, the leader. Then it's Sean Galligan, Michael Norman, now Angel Navarro with a big push from Daniel Day, who's also getting pushed by teammate Dylan Young. We're seeing a lot of teammates kind of working together, and now it looks like the first set of pit stops are going to happen. First of 2, I would believe. As we are keeping an eye out to make sure they don't run into each other. And they came in pretty safely. I'm sorry, it's just something's going on with my throat. Anyways, Trent Dunham currently leads, but now he's getting ready to come into pit road. Is anybody going to stay out? Looks like one is going to stay out, and that's Seth Cole. Oh, and I saw a little bit of contact. It looked like Chris Washer perhaps may have gotten into the back of Dylan Thoreau's machine. I'm not sure. Charles Sanford staying out to try to get a little bit of time. There's Dylan Thoreau's machine. I don't know if that's legit damage or if that's glitch damage. I think it is legit, because he's the only one of those Fords that has rear end problems. So I would assume it was Washer that got into the back of Thoreau going into pit road. That's what I would assume happened. And it looks like the first one that came out of pit road of the first group of cars looked like it was potentially Angel Navarro. As Seth Cole, I would assume, is now coming into pit road, and now he's in a stall. Just completed a stop. So yeah, that's going to be one of 2 pit stops that look to happen here at Talladega. And he gets across the line right there. But it looks like Trent Dunham's going to cycle around as the leader right now. And now he has Angel Navarro underneath him. Charles Sanford may be up here in this pack, but it looks like he's still a lap down. Not sure what the heck I just did. Yeah, he'd still be a lap down. Yeah, he'd be a lap down. Meanwhile, it's 3 wide for the lead. P.J. Williams with the low lane underneath Navarro and Dunham. Imagine if that was the last lap. That'd be a crazy finish. And Charles Sanford battling to try to get back on the lead lap as he and Austin LaPlante are the only 2 cars that are a lap down here in the field. Meanwhile, you got this big freight train of cars that are trying to work together to get back up into the main lead battle. Pichu London underneath of Zach Buchanan, that would be for 4th. And now David Rivera with help from James McLeod. Excuse me. Back up at the front, it is still all P.J. Williams right now. And I'm surprised we have not had a caution come out here in this race. These guys are just going pedal to the metal, and now Sanford is on pit road. I guess he must have needed to come in to try to repair more damage. That or he had a tire go down, I'm not sure. But meanwhile, PJ has the lead, but now Trent Dunham's right on the back bumper of the 88. Meanwhile, a lot of shuffling going on from 4th on back as David Rivera now has 4th. All these guys need to kind of bunch up and get in a formation so they can catch the top 3, and they're gradually doing that. Trent Dunham now has the lead, and they're approaching Dylan Poteet, who is on the tail end of the lead lap. And a little bit off the pace as a result of getting up into the wall a little earlier. Trent tried to go up high to get by him, but Williams now right behind Poteet. Yeah, you can definitely tell those guys behind the top 3 are definitely catching Navarro, Dunham, and Williams. Pichu London leads that pack. As now Dylan Poteet goes a lap down in the 31. Not the day he was hoping for. Pichu London is almost there to that battle. Meanwhile, there's Seth Cole, who's leading this pack of cars, which is 11th on back to 16th, which is Austin Mongold. And now London and company have caught the top 3. And now Dunham's getting ready to approach Chris Washer, who's on the tail end of the lead lap. And it looks like Washer's bad luck is going to continue this week. He has not been able to finish higher than the 30s so far this season. 3 wide, but 2 of them for the lead, Dunham and Williams. Williams with Pichu London to his back bumper. And we are just a few laps away from the final round of pit stops for this race. And now Pichu London takes the lead over. Man, we've had so many lead changes among many different drivers. I think that'd be a record here at Talladega, here in the Walmart Cup Series. I don't think we've had this many lead changes and different drivers leading the race at this track in quite a long time. Probably going back to the early days of the series, well over a year ago. And now Trent Dunham takes the lead over again. Meanwhile, they are approaching Preston Plord and James Silverfox. More tail-end cars. And now they're about to pass them by. And now London coming underneath Dunham for the lead again. And they are still going really, really fast. Starting around now, around this time would be when I would assume the next set of pit stops, the last set of pit stops, would take place. And I just saw the damage to the back of Dylan Thoreau's machine. I would assume it was from Washer getting into him on pit road, and that's why Washer's so slow. And now we got more cars into this battle. Zachary Fitzwater, David Rivera now up there, but PJ Williams pulls off. That's because he's coming into pit road. He's the first one to pull off from the lead lap in the pit road, and it looked like somebody else is coming in too, and that's Johnny Gardner. So far, that's all the drivers that are coming into pit road right now, as Pichu London leads the way. And now Trent Dunham shuts the door on Zachary Fitzwater to pull in front of him to get a run underneath of London. And now David Rivera 3 wide underneath of Fitzwater and London, and now Rivera pulls off. Same with Fitzwater and Navarro, so now more cars are coming into pit road. But a lot of the leaders stayed out, and Trent Dunham being one of them. It's going to be interesting to see who can get to the lead in time before we get to 2 to go, or even the white flag lap. Mr. Dunham currently up at the front, but now it looks like he's slowing down to get into pit road. Anybody going to stay out this time? Seth Cole staying out again. Chris Washer staying out. PJ Williams got out of the pits. Same with Gardner. And there's the current leader at the moment, Seth Cole. Will he try to be able to stretch it out 3 more laps than normal? I don't know. That'd be a risky gamble, but it would be a gamble I would maybe make. If he could conserve a little bit, he could maybe go the rest of the way. But I don't know if he's going to be able to pull it off. No, he's coming in the pit road now. But man, that would have been an interesting set of circumstances for Seth Cole to try to stretch out 3 laps of fuel to finish the rest of this race. Looked like Seth Cole went with just 2 tires and fuel. And now he's coming out. Let's see who could be the leader right now. It looks like this may be the battle for the lead soon. Trent Dunham, Pichu London. Trent Dunham trying to go for his 2nd win this season. Pichu London trying to go for what I would think would be his first ever victory here in the series. 2 laps to go, and now they've gone by Seth Cole. So this is the battle for the lead, and now Pichu London is going to take over that spot. Back here is 3rd and 4th, Rivera and Fitzwater. And then there's Galligan, who's 5th, and now Seth Cole getting bypassed by more cars. Pichu London with a bit of distance between himself and Trent Dunham. But Dunham, with that suck up in the draft, is so effective. He could catch up to that 17 and make a move as the white flag is out for Pichu London. Pichu London, after having a struggle of the last 2 seasons, he is looking to get his first ever points victory here in the Walmart Cup Series. And how big would it be to win at the new version of Talladega? Well, technically an old version, but it looks new. London's got a lot of distance between himself and Trent Dunham. Just hope that when he catches up to LaPlante here, it doesn't slow him down. Looked like it did a little bit, but it won't matter. Checkered flag is waving. Pichu London wins the Aaron's 499 at Talladega. What a job by the 17 car of London. Finally, after all of his struggles he's had in the last 2 seasons, he finally gets a win, and he wins at one of the biggest tracks we go to on the schedule. And what a race. This is probably the best Talladega race I think we have ever had. Not only because of no cautions, but there was always a lot of passing going on for positions and for the top spot. But let's go ahead and take a look at the rest of the results as Pichu London gets his first ever win here in the Walmart Cup Series. Trent Dunham so close to getting his second win this season. David Rivera, great job finishing third. That could put him back up that will definitely put him back up in the top 20 in points. Zachary Fitzwater, great run in fourth. And then a solid 5th place finish for Sean Galligan, a guy who we really didn't talk much about this whole race. Tanner Sullivan with a great run in the 6th position. Angel Navarro, great rebound in 7th. James McLeod's great run in the 8th spot. Solid run and solid performance for P.J. Williams. That's another top 10 for him. And then Danny Wells with a great run in 10th. Rest of the top 20 was Zach Buchanan, Michael Norman, Rue McIntyre, Seth Cole, Johnny Gardner, Chris Michaels, Jesse Setti, DJ Curtis, Ryan Acosta, and Dorian Facepuncher. And real quick, as I'm looking through the top 10, no rookies finished in the top 10, so the highest finishing rookie was Zach Buchanan for the 2nd week in a row. But anyways, rest of the top 30, Kyle Matthews, Dougie Shears, Jessica Sheldon, Stephen Pollard III, Austin Mongold, Anthony McCrory, Dylan Young, Cody Lamas, Charles Jackson, and Joshua Collard. Rest of the lead lap cars was Matt McIntyre, Tim Walsh, Carson Gum, Daniel Day, Bob Jones, and Dylan Thoreau. Everybody else behind them finished a lap down. Dylan Poteet, Preston Plord, James Silverfox, Chris Washer, Charles Sanford, and Austin LaPlante. Well, that does it for our coverage today here at Talladega for the Aaron's 499. The next race, we head up north to Michigan as we get set for the LifeLock.com 400. But anyways, here are your results, rookie points and regular points heading into Michigan. This is Levi McIntyre signing off. Thank you for tuning in to the NNSCRA Sports and Gaming channel, offline racing at its best.
Hey, thanks for watching another video here on the NNSCRA Sports and Gaming channel. If you enjoyed the content that you just saw, be sure to give this video a like. If you want to join the crew today, be sure to hit up that subscribe button. And if you want to know what's going on in the world of NNSCRA for news and updates, check out the Facebook and Twitter links down below me. Once again, thanks for watching everybody, and I will see you guys next time. I'm out.